All right, here we are on Win the Day live cast. It's Friday morning. We love Fridays, even if it's cold at the beach. That's weird, but it's cold at the beach right now. It's kind of nice though to wear a jacket. But let's talk about how to win at real estate, the game of real estate sales, probably at anything. We have Mark Simpson, a real estate coach. We have Julie Morris, a real estate guru. We have Destiny Powell, a real estate superstar.
Hey, and John, guess what? I just got the notification on my phone that we are live with YouTube. So make sure you go over to the YouTube channel and click like, subscribe, and the little bell that tells you when we're coming at you.
Love it. Love it. Do it. We're trying to spread some knowledge here. We got a good amount of knowledge. We've done some things, seen some things. We've even had some bad things happen. I've made some bad investments.
That's where you learn.
I've run into some hard times, all that stuff. And yeah, that's where we learn. And what I want to talk about today is kind of a reset that I'm doing with my group and myself even around lead gen and business in general, because we experienced a good amount of success, and now we're not experiencing that same success. Some of it's our own problem, some of it's the market, and but we don't get to control the market. We do get to control our own what we do, mindset, actions, etc. So I want to talk to that for a minute. What we're doing is we're simplifying. We're starting to cut away some of the fat, a lot of the fat, all the fat, which we should have done long ago. But we tried to hang in there because we had optimistic outlooks. We still do, but now we're sprinkling in some realistic in it too. And I think that is just the normal course of it. You start lean, you have success, you add some extra frills. You don't want to give up those frills. And so you cross your fingers and hope that the times aren't going to get lean again. And if they do, they're not going to be that lean or that last that long. And then they end up being leaner and longer. And I think that's where we are in my run. Okay. So then we go back to the basics. How do I get better? So many people ask, what do I do? Oh my God. Right. And what I'm telling myself, what I'm telling everybody else is you go back to the basics. You go back to having conversations with buyers, owners, and sellers about their hopes and dreams for their current property or future properties. Okay. And here's the way it works. I call it the circle of life. All right.
Do I need to go?
Yeah, right. Start screaming. However that works, right? Get the lines out here. But it's a circle of life, especially in a real estate sales, and it's probably a circle of life everywhere. And what you do, it looks like this. You go learn something about a neighborhood, a building. You go learn whatever you can about something about it, right? Sales trends. Right? We talked about that. We preview it, learn something about what they look like, feel like, smell like. We go open houses, something, but we go learn something about the neighborhood, the building, and then we go tell the buyers, owners, and sellers what we know, what we learned, right? In their scripts, right? You follow your script and you talk to them. You have a conversation. You tell them what you know. Hey, it's a house just listed. We just listed, just sold, a new price, open house, something, and they listen to you, right? And if they didn't know what you're telling them, they're going to be grateful for the knowledge you're imparting on them, and they're going to like you. If they did know, and you're asking the right questions, they're going to keep the circle going, and they're going to tell you something you didn't know, and you're both going to grow, right? So when you know more than they know, tell them, share it. And if you discover they know more than you know, be quiet and listen closely. And then leave that conversation. Now you know more for the next conversation. Tell them what you know. If they didn't know, they're going to be grateful. If they do know, they're going to tell you more because you're asking questions, and you're going to leave bigger and better. That is the circle, right? And it just keeps going and going. What do you know? Open houses, just listed, just sold. Maybe you go to an HOA meeting, find out something. Maybe you're watching the news, some economic trends. Maybe you're watching a video or something like this, something. Anything, everything. The deeper, the better. The wider and deeper, the better. All of it. Get out and share what you know, and be receptive when somebody has more than you do, which if you're doing it right, it's going to be often. Okay. 2 years, one of these, right? So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're getting back to talking to more and more people specifically about their hopes and dreams around real estate. And we're going to take that information and put it to use. That's what we're doing. That's what I think everybody should do in the game of sales. All right. Get rid of the fluff, get rid of the extras, learn something, tell something, listen to something, and help those that need right now help. Put those that need future help into a follow-up file and go, go, go. Right? Destiny, I think you're living that. Is that possible?
I am living that, right? Actually, I did a house yesterday and didn't get a lot of traffic. I am of open houses, but I'm doing them. But I learned a lot. Like you said, came in and just by listening to them talk, you know, they used to be on the HOA before Holly by the Sea. So a lot from what they were saying about HOA in general that I can relate to people, but also telling me, you know, how bad a realtor that they dealt with. So I'm doing more, so I know how to swoop it the day. So you learn so much getting in there, being lead genning, calling, but even in an open house and listening to what those to say, you learn about the neighborhoods and that.
Love it. Love it. Destiny, I think you're on the edge of your signal. I had amazing conversations yesterday. Amazing. Because here's what happens, guys. You learn something, and I was talking about something I had learned recently, and I was spreading the gospel, so to speak. So I was excited about it, and people pick up on your excitement. I was knowledgeable about something, and they pick up on your expertise, and I was on target or on point because I had a script. And it made me more interested in having the conversations, better with the conversations, and able to listen to their responses. And I learned a bunch based on their reaction to what I was teaching them. It brought me back to the days when I was into this full on, all in. It's fun when you're someone with some knowledge that somebody doesn't have and they get it. They're like, oh, cool. And then they'll start asking you questions and you answer those questions, and then they give you more. And there's a consultation that occurs. And at the end, they're grateful for you and you're grateful for them, and you get their business if it's now, and you get their business if it's future. It is a really fun, and it makes you excited to talk to the next person. Next, right? Do you find, I think, Julie, you speak to that in your conversation earlier in the week about open houses, when you said, if a vendor comes in, thank you, I love you, not now, I'm here to work. Is that kind of the same type of thing, Stan?
Well, you come to have boundaries, and you need to be very blunt and direct about, this is what I'm doing now, and not wishy-washy about trying to please everybody always. And that's where it comes to, you know, being on in events like this on a weekly basis, pouring into yourself and your mindset, and having a mindset of knowing what your goals are, whether it's for the year, for the month, or for this open house. And the goal of an open house is to meet buyers and sellers, and or to farm or get exposure in a neighborhood. You have different goals, but you have to bring yourself back to the goal. And then when people are trying to direct you in a way outside of what your goal is, you stop them. That's all. Not now. I don't dislike you as a person. You're not bad. You're not evil. It's just that my goal right now is to generate buyer and seller leads.
And I'm excited to talk to buyers and sellers. I'll talk to vendors when I'm excited for vendors. Right now, I'm in buyer and seller mode.
And another time, you know, meet for coffee, but not now.
And I've seen lenders come in and take over an open house.
Yep.
Trying, and it's, look, they're lead generating, but it's lead generating on your lead generation time.
On your time and your money.
Yeah.
And they're a disruption. And they can,
which is fine if that's part of the plan, but if it's
if it's not part of the plan and they're not part of your team and you didn't invite them and they aren't abiding by what you say, hey, these are the boundaries, these are the guardrails, stay in your lane, then no. You know,
okay.
Same with other agents. I've had agents come into my open house and hijack people and then take them and go show them other properties, come back and write an offer on the property that I'm holding open with someone they met at my open house. That's why you don't let other agents in there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've learned a few things, I'm telling you. But
what strikes me is this. John, the most knowledgeable agent is the most curious agent who's asking the most questions. Because how do you learn? You're curious, you inquire, you ask questions, you study. And that's the most important thing, is how curious are you? How fascinated are you? And what's interesting is, as you're talking to people, the more you are interested in the stories, the more interesting you become to them. And then you will glean those things. And there is a time to talk. There is a time to share that knowledge. But hey, if you're not curious, you're going to struggle in this business.
This goes back to another thing we talk about often. You get to pick and choose where you're going to work, the people you're going to work with. Choose to work in areas that you're into, and the people who buy, sell, and own those kind of properties. You're into those people. They're your people, because you start ahead, right? You don't have to catch up. You don't have to fake it till you make it. You're already there. I like rental properties. I like vacation properties. I like investment properties. I spend most of my time in that sphere talking to those people about those things. I come in excited, right? Some people who don't like that have to trick themselves into it. That's a hard game to play. So figure out who you are, what you are, and give yourself the advantage of that.
And you have to find a resource. So a resource for information where it's ongoing. So you're keeping up with the trends, what's happening, whether it's a building, whether it's an area, whether it's a community, whether, whatever it is, a certain HOA, a zip code, a carrier route.
I'll help you out. Can you read that?
There's MLS. That's number one. But then whatever your specialty is, wherever you are focused, you can't memorize or learn the whole MLS. It's good to know what the trends are, because the MLS gives you the overall
100%.
trends. But you need to know specifically about what you're doing.
When I was in between high school and college, I worked for a car dealership delivering parts. And I had lived in Memphis, grew up in Memphis, but I learned more about Memphis driving around the streets delivering parts. And it's like, oh, because we get on our own route. So get in your car and start driving around, do the recon, do the boots on the ground, get in, drive every street of your farm.
You've got to develop a routine for that, though, a system for it. So part of it is Monday morning, I'm going to review the MLS trends, or the Cromford trends, or the Cromford Reporter, whatever your source is. And be careful what your source is. Make sure that you know that it's accurate, because there are a lot of people who are out there delivering information, and they are repeating what they've learned from a bad source. So be very careful that you're getting it from a good source. And then, maybe there's a weekly broker tour. You're going to get, we talked about this, you're going to get a lot more information from a lot of properties quickly, where someone else is opening it and closing it, and you're in and out of there in 10 minutes. And then fill in the gaps. Maybe after the broker tour, you go all the other properties that are new to the market that week, and now you're caught up on a Monday morning.
Hey, Ken, Destiny, where do you get news, information, inside scoop?
I look at MLS a lot. I have the hot sheet set to show me exactly what I'm looking for, that price point in that neighborhood every day. And so that's what I start my mornings with after our calls. I look just go through those trends and things like that.
You guys, it's so easy. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, did you see the house down the street just sold? Mm-hmm. It was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, so 1,800 square feet, sold for $480,000. And I know when one sells, a couple more get ready to come on the market. Just curious, when do you plan on moving? There you go. We're already into it, right? Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, did you see the one just came on the market down the street from you? It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet on the market for $600,000. Curious, who do you know that'd like to own in your neighborhood? Boom. It's so easy. That's news. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, yeah. How long have you owned yours? Cool. If you ever did sell, where would you go next? Oh, that's interesting. When would that be? You're just boom, boom, boom. Now you're learning things. You're excited. And here's the even cooler thing. When you know the market and you see that the market average is $500,000, and you see somebody came on the market at $475,000. Whoa. First thing, should I buy this? Second thing, who do I know should buy this? Third thing is, well, I'm going to go tell everybody in that freaking neighborhood that so-and-so is on the market and see who they know that wants to buy this. Now you're calling, hey, did you know the average, Joe and Mary just came on the market for $475,000? Oh my God, that's low. I know, right? The average price is $500,000. They're at $475,000. They must want out. Who do you know? and they'll say, "Oh, I know, Joe and Mary are getting divorced, or that house has this," and it just blows up.
The
And your
hustler
excitement
gets the business.
is catchy.
The hustler gets the business. If you're the one connecting, you're connecting the buyers and the sellers, you're going to get the business. It doesn't matter. And this is one of the things a lot of new agents have anxiety about. They think, I don't know enough. I don't have enough experience. I'm not, fill in the blank. No, the hustler gets the business. Go chase people down. You will get the business. I've said it many times. My first year in the business, I knew nobody. I didn't know how to get around. I didn't have GPS. I had just moved to Arizona. I closed 48 transactions because I chased people around and tried to get the appointment. And I didn't know anything. So my point is you don't have to be the most experienced, knowledgeable person. You have to be the one that delivers and serves people and meets their needs.
Here's another thing. And this is so easy as I think about it. Go drive the neighborhood. Destiny, what is there a neighborhood you're going for? Where do you want to dominate? Give me a neighborhood. I don't care.
Right now I'm working Hidden Creek out here in Holly by the Sea.
All right. So you go to Hidden Creek and you drive around.
Right.
Is there any construction? Is there a new house being built? Is there a new Publix going in near them? Is there something that wasn't that you can tell because there's yellow tape or orange cones or I don't know? It's obvious. Mm-hmm. Then you can just, that's the news. Hey, it's John Moran, Keller Williams Realty's at the beach team. How are you this morning? Great. Yeah, me too. Awesome. Hey, what's going on with the freaking cones over in wherever? I know. What the hell's going on with that? Yeah, you're over on Main Street, right? Yeah. How long you own there? Cool. How'd you end up owning there? If you were to sell, where would you go next? When would that be? Just freaking. Mm-hmm. It's so freaking easy. Vicky Pobu's on here yesterday. He's at the grocery store, just head on the swivel, bumping into people. Oh, you shop here? I'm a realtor. I mean, just get out there and start the conversation. News. It's helpful with news. Bigger the news, the better, right?
John, I've often said, and the agents that coach with me, I always say, the thing I learned the most about real estate, I learned from a sex addict. And they go, what? And I was back in my coaching or counseling days. I had this guy that had quite a problem. And I said, I don't get it, because he wasn't a good looking guy or anything like that. And he just said, and I'll abbreviate it. He said, Mark, you don't ping. I said, what do you mean? He says, when you walk through the grocery store, he said, if somebody smiles at you, you make eye contact, smile, and look away. He said, I never look away. But the people that don't look away at me, I know they're like me. And so the thing is, he says, you're just not pinging enough. And I said, well, I'm not going to ping. But that's what it is. If you're pinging enough, you're going to find the business.
So here's how you ping. Learn something that everybody doesn't know, or at least is new to you, because then you go, I've had my kids used to come in and tell me about Scooby-Doo. Oh my God, Dad, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, I believe it. I believe it. But they're excited about it. And I'm like, oh my God, no way. Really? If it wasn't for those damn kids, they would have got away with it. Oh no, who knew? But they're excited about it. And I pick up on their excitement and they leave. It's so cool. So let's recap. Give me one thing. Mark, where do you find info? Where do you get the inside scoop that you can tell folks something?
I think start with the MLS. It is the most underutilized resource. Then I would join a community page for that area and look at what the locals are saying. At least you have the narrative of what the locals are saying. That's an important piece. And if there's not one, create one.
It'll make you one of them. Julie, what did you tell people? Where can you get news?
Well, find whatever is local that is a good resource. We have something here in Phoenix Metro called Cromford Report. I don't know what everyone else has, but generally there's some sort of additional information. Exhaust the MLS, come up with a couple of stats that you need to know, and just be updating them every single week. Actives, closed, under contract, what's the trend there? What's the ratio? Is it going up? Is it going down? You can create some of that yourself just by looking at it every week and tracking the numbers on a spreadsheet, and then you can see the trends if you don't have a resource that does it for you. But if you have that information and you arm yourself with it every single week, when you're out and about and people know you're a realtor, or you tell them you're a realtor, they ask you. You don't have to bring up real estate. They're always like, what's going on in real estate? Is it going up? Is it going down? I hear this, I hear that. And I always try to listen to them and ask questions, to let them exhaust what they're saying, because oftentimes it's wrong and you want to wait till they're finished before you disagree. But by being able to have all the exact information that's factual, don't ever try to BS or give them information that you're not sure of, because that ruins your credibility. But ask them questions about where they got the information, because maybe it's something you don't know.
Perfect. Destiny, what would you tell people trying to get excited about something and find something that they can talk about? Where would you go?
I would say outside of the MLS, listen to the people that live in those neighborhoods. You know, when you're calling, you know, to me, circle dialing has stood the test of time. Listen to them. They know because they've lived there for years. They've retired here. So listen to them. Let them tell you as well what those trends are.
Love it. Love it. The last thing I would add to that is make sure you're operating. I just hammer this all the time. Make sure you're operating in an environment that you're already rich in. You're into it. You love it. You could talk about it forever, which means you're constantly have your antenna up, picking things up all the time, everywhere. I could talk investment stuff to anybody forever, right? So figure out what your thing is, right? What lights you up, turns you on, and then that's your ping. That's your ping. And then those folks, you'll find those folks that they'll just become attracted to you, and that'll be a winner for you. All right, kind of the way Mark is with the sex addicts. So,
hey John, let's be really. Let's everybody make sure if you're watching on Facebook, awesome, but go over to YouTube, look up John Moran Win the Day. It's at John Moran Win the Day. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you're notified every time we come on. Get over there, right there, or Win the Day podcast, John Moran. There we go. That will get you there. Make sure that you do that. Ultimately, we want to drive more and more to the YouTube channel. But thank y'all so much.
Hey, let's talk about next week real quick. We have Andrew Paul coming in. He's going to talk how to get money. He's a finance guy. He's a money guy, right? He's also a VA guy. He knows VA inside and out, upside down. It's his passion, he said. He's a Navy SEAL. I have a military guy on my team. He said, Andrew Paul, I looked him up. He's a badass.
He is.
I'm like,
he's seen
really?
some things.
Yeah, he's really good. And he's a professional speaker. He travels all over talking about how to get better at life. Is that fair, Julie?
Yeah. One of
how
his
to overcome.
He does a number of speeches, but one of them is called Do Hard Things and the Benefits of Doing Hard Things. He's incredible.
He didn't even know he was talking to the real estate community when he came up with that title. All right, so good. He's going to be here next Thursday. It's good. That's a don't miss her. And if you know people in the military, he's going to be able to give you some insight on how to buy, own, invest, grow, all that stuff. Very, very good. All right. Other than that, wait, real quick, Mark. Go, Mark. You go first.
So, John, here's what I'm going to say: is we're migrating ultimately to YouTube. We're sitting at 77 subscribers. Now you've got 5,000 followers on Facebook, but I have a goal, and that is if all of you will like, share, comment, get your friends on there, go over there. I want to hit next week 100 subscribers to the channel. Let's pass 100. That's a goal. Everybody together, we can achieve more. Come on, team. Let's get us over 100.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. So it's Friday, right? Because it's Friday, it's important that we get some time off to rejuice, to re-energize, all that stuff. If you're taking time off this weekend, good for you. If you're working, good for you. But when you leave the work today, I want you to be able to go home inspired, excited for next week, because they'll do a couple things. One, it'll get you inspired and excited for next week, but it'll let you be a better person at home, a better spouse, a better pet owner, a better friend, a better neighbor, a better everything. So what you're going to do today is create some sort of a goal that you can achieve. Not so hard that you can't get it done, but not so easy it doesn't matter. Every week I say this: follow up on your leads. It's easy. It'll result in something. And the way that looks is Joe and Mary, at one point you were looking at listing your house. Is that still the case? What's the next step? Joe and Mary, you were looking at that house over on Main Street. Are you still interested in buying a house? what's the next step? That's all you got to do, and you'll move forward. You do that, you get to the end of the day, you're all puffed up. You're like, oh, I had a good day. I can't wait till Monday. This is going to be great. Hey, honey, let's go out to eat. We got a big week coming. It's just a better life. All right. So do that. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Have a good
Bye,
weekend.
guys. Good weekend.